What's going on, folks? Gonna do a little project here today for a customer. It's a silencer off a KX250, I think, 2-strokes Kawasaki dirt bike, but it's stock silencer. He wants it shortened, probably about 4 inches. So I'm gonna show y'all the process for that. It's not real complicated, but it's nasty, man. You know, it's aluminum shield around the inner part of the silencer, which is just basically a piece of probably 1.25 inches, a bunch of holes drilled in it, but it's all oily and nasty, you know, being on a 2-stroke. And I think the top end come apart on the bike. I'm not really sure, but anyway, I'm gonna give y'all a quick rundown on that. So I'll do some aluminum TIG on the casing for the silencer, and then I'll do some, I don't know, I might go ahead and TIG weld the steel, just since I'll have the TIG set up. Just swap tungsten and change the machine over to DC from AC. But I got a Miller Dynasty. Here, I'll just show y'all. Here's the silencer. Got it set up in my tripod so I can do some work on it. This is how it ends, and this is where he wants it to end. So I'm gonna cut, I'm gonna cut a seam in this so I can move the end of it up, and I'll cut a section out and just, French it in or whatever, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But here's my Dynasty. It's my baby. Love this thing. It's a 200DX. Got a foot pedal remote for it. Got a scroll remote on it as well. I don't use it as often. If I'm doing cage work or something where I'm in a bind, I'll run this back up to the torch and zip tie it on there. But that's my 200, and we're gonna get started here. I'll show y'all how nasty this thing is. And it'll have to be cleaned prior to any welding being done, obviously, especially aluminum TIG. I actually TIGged this up. This had a big old gouge in it from him kicking it, and I TIGged that back up and made it square. That's just to kickstart off the bike. Nothing crazy, but here you go. See if we can get this thing off of here. Yeah, that's nice, ain't it? I don't know if y'all can tell, but I mean, this thing is disgusting. Kind of see it anyway, so we're gonna shorten it up some. Be back with you. All right, so obviously the easiest way to do this is gonna be to cut it up here instead of trying to cut this out and put the end back on it. So we're just gonna cut 1 inch, because that's about how much I can get away with, because we want it to end here. So 1 inch is right there. That puts me kind of close to the bracket, but so those little hash marks. So I'm gonna cut 1 inch off the end of it, and then I'm gonna cut it back here and move that piece in, so it should end about in the same area where he wanted it. Now what I gotta do is walk out to my Dodge, because you need 2 of everything when you fabricate. And so, like, my pipe wraps and all my center finders and all that mess for pipe welding and fitting and all that's in my Dodge, because it's probably the last time I used it, I was in the truck somewhere. So we'll go out there. All right, so here we are. Old Dodge, old Cummins. That's a pretty good truck, I'll tell you. If I can do this while I'm messing with my phone. Got my little tailgate here, well, you can just throw stuff up on the truck. Don't have to fool with strapping it down. So it's pretty neat, Got a big trunk. I think my box with my other stuff's over here. We're gonna see real quick. I need to figure it out. There it is. So got a cylinder on the lid. You pull the release on it, lid pops open. Got some stuff in here. Sorry about that. Had to get in here. And I'm gonna take, I'm just gonna take the whole box. I got Got some stuff in here. We're just gonna take the whole thing. Sound like a plan? Close all this junk up. There we go. Grab my tools. Just throw it in the game box in the shop. Next time I go somewhere and need it, it'll be at the shop instead of in the truck. Makes sense, right? 2 of everything. Weld and fabricate, you need 2 of everything. Alright, back in the shop. I know it's a mess. Got too much going on, not enough time to do it. Soapstone pencil. Oh. Curve mark wrap around. Curve mark center finder. 2-hole pins with a curve mark angle finder attached to them. Some more 2-hole pins. Small cut up squares. Angle finder. Pipe wrap when you in a bind or need to make a template or something. That stuff works good. Receipt paper. Got some homemade ball bearing springy 2-hole pins. Anyway, I'm gonna get this marked up and go from there. All right, so took my cover mark pipe wrap, wrapped it around, got both my marks. We're gonna cut here first, remove this and save it, cut here, and this right here is gonna go in the scrap bin. Then I'll take this off. It'll re-weld here after I clean it all up and prep it and get it ready. I think I'll probably cut this with a cutting wheel. Honestly, I was gonna put it in a bandsaw, but I think I'm gonna cut it with a cutting wheel because it's really thin. Like, might be easier to deal with a cutting wheel. All right, boys and girls, I'm gonna throw this in here just for fun. PPE is important. I'm the world's worst about throwing a cutting wheel on a grinder with no guard and putting it in a bad position or using it backwards so it's in a bind. But I mean, that comes from the construction world. I mean, you get places where you just can't cut it. You got to do stuff like that. And at the shop, you know, I've kind of gotten to where I'm trying to be better about that. You know, I do wear my safety glasses. I do have, you know, work gloves. I am wearing my safety Crocs. But, you know, toes aren't that big of a deal. Look at there. I do have a guard on it. Gonna rock the guard this time. It's a good idea. It really is. I've seen cutting wheels come apart, and it's pretty nasty. Thankfully, I've never really been too hurt by anything like that. I've tied a couple wire wheels up in some shirts, you know. Got the tattoos to prove that, but that's I'm gonna keep that off the channel. All right, so I cut one side on both cuts, and then I rolled it over. I'm gonna leave this square part where it's got some more meat for the last little bit. That way it'll stay stiffer, but I'll finish cutting this outside one all the way off, and then I'll finish cutting the center one. But that way, if you go ahead and cut half of each of them the first time, when you flip it over, you only have to flip it once. So we'll get that taken care of. All right, so we got our pieces here. Got this one, and they're not perfectly square. They're not, but Tiger Paw will square them up, get the fit good, close the gap up. But that's how much shorter it's gonna be. That piece will go straight on there, and I'll TIG that all the way around. I'll actually line it up using the center piece that came out of it, and I'll show you all that. But see, that's how much shorter it got. So, not too bad. All right, so I knocked just a little bevel on it, knocked the edge off of from cutting it. Y'all can see that, just barely a bevel, and now obviously it's got all this material on the inside, needs to be cleaned up. So I've got an end grinder with the burr bit on the end of it, set up for aluminum. The flutes are not as tight. The carbide tips are totally different. Let's see. This one's an aluminum cutting tip. I guess you probably use it for wood or whatever. So that's a mess, and I got crap all over my saw, but that's a carbide end. See the difference in the teeth? That one's kind of jacked up, but when you poured aluminum heads, you would use the other bit, or cast iron heads, you would use the one on the electric end grinder right there. But I'm just gonna get all this out of here real quick, and then, you know, get some acetone or You don't want to use brake clean if you're going to weld on it. It's just a bad idea. If it's chlorinated, the gases it produces when you superheat it, they're really bad. So don't want to do that. But I mean, it's nothing crazy. See, we just knock the trash out of it and then clean it up. All right, so this is obviously thin material. It's got a slight bevel on the outside. And when you go and deburr the inside, you want to be careful because you take too much out, it'll get really, really thin, which it's not an issue. The Dynasties, I mean, they're really easy to control aluminum with. I don't know if I use 1/16 or this 035. I think it's 035. Yeah, 035. Lincoln MIG wire, spool gun wire right here, but I mean, it's no problem. I welded some beer cans together the other day just for fun. Figure I probably ought to prove that. It's not the prettiest thing. I blew a hole in it, I think twice, but filled one of them back in. I think one of them's still in it, but come get it out of the toolbox of the S10. I put it in here because, you know, I didn't know if everybody would believe me. So here you go. Yep, there's a hole. But take them bad boys together. So, you know, I probably ought to buy an actual camera. Doing this with your cell phone's not that easy. There's some junk we got at the swap meet the other day. I need these for the Chevy too. Gonna drill some holes in the collectors on them fender well headers that's on that car, and run some vacuum line from these breathers and the valve covers down to them tubes in the collector, and it'll scavenge the vacuum system out of the motor. Like, it'll actually pull vacuum. The headers will, using the exhaust. It's pretty cool. It's like an old school horsepower trick. I don't know how much it benefits, but I know a lot of people do it. Anyway, I'll go back in here and clean this mess up and keep on. All right, so clean the inside down on this end where we're gonna be welding. And it's not perfect, but it's gonna be all right. See, these will it's a whole lot shorter than it was. Should be good. All right, so got the center section back up there. See, it's too long. I'm gonna use it to center this up. Went ahead and pulled this grommet out. Pulled this little bushing out and then pulled the grommet out. I didn't want to melt it. Oh, I'm gonna try this 035. I'll probably put 2 passes on it, but I'm gonna center it up a little better. It's not perfect, but get it centered up a little bit better and get it tacked. I'm on AC. Let's see. I'm gonna turn it up probably around about 60 amps. And then I'm on 70% balance, 150 hertz at 70 amps. AC, running pure argon, obviously. So get this thing tacked up, see where we can. Remember, PP is important. Gotta wear your welding cap. I don't have any hair. Got a bald head, so I mean, not that, you know, shouldn't have sparks flying. TIG welding aluminum, but you know, shake a BB off the end of the wire or something that ends up on top of your head, that ain't gonna feel good. Alright. Alright, got it lined up, tacked up. Gonna weld it out. Running this 035 MIG wire, kind of halfway straightened out. Running a think a number 4 cup with 1/16 green tungsten on a flex head Profax mini rig. Same settings we had earlier. See that tripod? Any of y'all that's from the piping world, fitter gets on you for piling crap up on his tripod. Well, it's not his tripod. You're a welder. You're welding, it's your tripod. Nah, I'm just kidding. Not really, but my best buddy from Mobile, Blake, he's a jam up pipe fitter. And we used to have that discussion. But anyway, I'm gonna get to welding. Kind of try to video a little bit of it. But all right, here we go. Well, you know what? I need to put this where it ain't gonna be blocked by me. Y'all ready? Alright, if y'all notice right there at the end when I got to that ridge, it marks the top of the silencer. it's thicker there. I mean, it goes from probably, I don't know, 1/16 to probably a quarter. That little ridge is about a quarter. And I had 60 amps. I didn't have enough pedals, so that's why I had to slow down. I was wide open on the pedal, all the gas she had, and just real slow, letting it heat up. And then finally I was able to feed the wire and get it to fill in. Let's see what it looks like. It's not too bad. Consistency could be better, right? I do believe. Let's see if we can get it to roll over here. It's not terrible. It could be better. But it'll ride. Alright, so that's done. What I've done, I've taken a silver Sharpie and I've marked the end of it there, so I know where it's going to stop at the end of this pipe. But we want about a 1/4 inch sticking out. So I'm going to pull this off. I say that. There we go. Well, so I'm going to pull it off. Oh, there's a burr on it. Hang on. Alright, there we go. That'll work. Alright, so what I'll do is I need a 1/4 inch sticking out here. So I'll probably cut right at the end of the straight part. Make it easier to weld to. So I'll cut 1 inch off right here. And I'll come back here and I'll cut 3/4 of an inch off there. And then I'll weld it back to this. So let me get all that prepped up. I think I'll go ahead and TIG it. We'll see how nasty it is when I get it cut apart. Alright, so jumped in here, got a piece of 332 with a collet. Gonna run a gas lens with a just whatever cup, it don't matter. We got a number 7 cup. So then we're gonna back this off. Alright. There we go, got it to focus. Alright, so anyone that doesn't know how all this works, so collet holds the tungsten. That's how you tighten it up. Clamp the tungsten. Run it in with your fingers. Oh, you know what I forgot? Gotta put a collar on it. This piece. I like a little bit of stick out. And this stuff's dirty, so I'm not even worried about it. This tungsten ain't perfect, but we're gonna send it anyway. All right, so you got that mess. Put all this back in the box. Let's see here. Got my stainless ground. Or well, it's braided copper TIG hot lead stripped and then braided. Throw it on stainless pipe or whatever. So we're gonna come up here, we're gonna go DC. Same argon, 100 amps is more than enough. Obviously your amperage is controlled with your remote, so your foot can go from 0 to whatever it's set at. So 0 to 88, wide open, you know, mashed it all the way to the floor is 88. So, and then let's see what we got the post flow set on. Probably a watt. I was welding some stainless the other day. It's on 8. That's not bad, but we don't really need it that high. Let's bump it down about 5. Go back to our amperage. We're gonna kind of prepped it up. I cut this much out of it. That's that line right there, or to the left of the line is where the end of the aluminum shield is, so we should have about a 1/4 inch sticking out. But I'm gonna TIG this up and we're going to grind it down because it actually has to slip inside the other pipe. All right, let's get y'all set up. You can kind of see what's going on a little bit. Grounded to the table. Let's see if we got it ground. Well, it's like nasty carbon with years of 2-stroke premix run through it. I had to grind the weld down a little bit, but it's nothing special. Just, you know, had to be put together. All right, that's it. Got the grommet back in it. See, it fits. Looks about like factory. Obviously, the weld's still on there, but as thin as that aluminum is, I'm gonna leave it. If the gentleman that it belongs to wants to sand it down, then you know we can do that. But as thin as this aluminum is, it'd be more beneficial to leave the weld. It'd be stronger. But anyway, that's it. Shortened it up. All right. Oh, check this out. I'm going to show you all this. So, dryer plug. We've got a plasma cutter, HTP MiG 200, and then the Dynasty. And so we've got this cord where we can swap machines, and then I can take it and unwind it and roll it, you know, on out in the yard, whatever we got going on. Dad's over there studying, learning about Hemi stuff. All right, well, appreciate y'all tuning in. You know, leave a comment, any questions y'all got, or anything. I mean, but y'all have a blessed day.